Hello everyone, my name is Nick. I'm a Flexologist with StretchLab Cherry Hills. What I'd like to do today is just take you through some basic stretches, some mobility work, and then some balance and stability things that we can do in our own little kitchens while we're here at home. To start off with, I want all these stretches to feel nice and comfortable. None of these things should cause irritation, any kind of sharp pain, or anything that requires you to hold your breath and kind of cringe through. We're not doing that today. All of these stretches should feel like a nice, dull strain going through that muscle group, allowing you to breathe through and let that muscle group relax. The first stretches I'd like to start off with are just some lower body things that we can do. So I'm going to be using the stool I'm sitting on. Be standing up. Now, as you can see, I'm in a rather confined space, but that doesn't stop me from being able to get through these stretches properly. The first one I'm going to show you here is just throwing your leg up onto the stool. Now, the first thing I want you to look at before you start this stretch is where are my hips at? If your hips are all the way hiked up here because it's just a little too tight back here, this is too high for your leg, and that's okay. Go ahead and just bring it down a lower rung, and we can start right here. Now, from this position, what I want you to do is you're going to lean forward, let that stretch, and just feel until you get all the way from the top of your glute all the way down to the knee. Now, the first piece of positioning I want you to think about is where my upper body is. So what everyone wants to do is kind of curl through their back and just kind of go through that stretch. You're not going to get the same kind of tension you want. So what I want you to do, you're going to have your hand on your stomach and on your low back here. And you're just going to keep your body nice and tall. Lean forward into that. Ooh, I can feel that stretch right there. Remember, we don't want to be pushing this too hard, so you want to be able to take deep breaths in and out. On average, you want to hold these stretches for about 30 seconds to a minute. I also like to just hold it until I can feel like that stretch is going through that muscle group, where I can either go a little bit lower with that stretch, or that it's just becoming more comfortable for me to stay in. Now, the next one I want to show you is the hip flexor stretch. We're going to use this same stool. We're going to get into a nice little bit of lunging. I've got some stability here so I don't accidentally fall over getting into position. And same thing, you're going to get your leg up onto this stool, have this other leg out in front of you a little bit, and all you're going to do is keep that body nice and tall and lunge down into it. You should really feel that going through this quad and hip flexor through this section right here. Now, same thing as before I was talking about, we don't want to be leaning forward to be able to get that stretch. We want us to keep our body nice and tall and just drop into that right there. All right. Now for today, just so I can get through all these stretches I want to show you, I'm not doing both sides, but do both sides. Always balance yourself out. All right. The next stretch I want to show you is just a quick stretch that we can do for our adductors while standing here. You're going to get your hands right onto your hip bones here, not on the love handles, right on those bones. And what you're going to do from this position is just tip those hips out to the side, and you really want to feel like your hand is pushing on that hip. Just add a little bit more stretch there, and you're going to be feeling that all the way through this adductor muscle right here. Yeah. It's the other side, get a little stretchy there. If you want to increase this stretch while you're in this position, all you have to do is push that hip forward a little bit, get a little bit more of a lunge, letting that left knee bend through this stretch. Yeah. Just a quick modification if you don't feel it in the first position. All right, now that we've just kind of gotten our lower body a little squared away here, I want to show you some things that we can do for our shoulders. Now, today I'm not going to be using a yoga strap for this, so what I'm going to be using is a dish towel. Real simple. So the first one I want to show you is a pec stretch, just for our front part of our body. What you're going to do is you're going to take this towel, grab it with both hands, and from this position, we're going to keep our body nice and tall, and just bring those shoulders back until we feel a nice stretch. Now, what you want to generally do subconsciously in the stretch is lean forward with your body and let that head sink forward. That's not what we're trying to accomplish here. We're going to keep our body nice and tall, keep our head back, and pull those those shoulders back. Okay, you get the idea. The next one we're going to be doing is just some rotator cuff stretching for both the front and the back. For this position, you're going to take one hand and just bring it right over the top of your head, letting that towel just kind of sink in between your spine here. The other hand is going to come behind and just grab the bottom of that towel. From this position right here, all I'm going to do is with my right hand, I'm going to pull up, bringing that left hand with me, and just letting that stretch go all the way through that shoulder right there. Now, you can also do this in reverse by pulling down with the left arm. It's going to get into a little bit more of that tricep lat stretch right here for you. Now, it's okay if you can't get your arm all the way back here, or if the towel's just not long enough. It's always bath towels. Those are totally fine for getting this stretch. All right. With those shoulder stretches out of the way, I want to show you just one more for the neck, and we're just going to move on to a few other things. Now, I just really like this neck stretch because it's something you can do sitting down, real easy. But the first thing you're going to do is you're going to hook your hand right underneath the table right here. From this position, we're going to keep same thing, keep our body nice and tall. We're going to tuck that chin, and we're going to roll that head away. We're trying to almost put our left ear to our left shoulder. Now that stretch should really feel like it's going through this upper trap, a little bit into the levators over into this section here. And just same like all the other stretches. Relax, deep breaths. And let that stretch go through that neck right there. The whole reason why we're holding on to the table or to the chair down here with our arm, just so our shoulder doesn't follow our head as we pull up. Just a way for us to stabilize that shoulder. Okay, now that we've gotten through some of the upper body and lower body stretches, I just wanted to go through a couple things that we can do just around our kitchen just to make things a little bit more entertaining for ourselves. All right, so let me move this real quick. The first stretch I wanted to show here is a countertop stretch. Now this is a great one for kind of our low back right here, especially if we're standing doing all our dishes and meal prep. So what we're going to do, forewarning, make sure your countertop can support yourself doing this. Don't go gung-ho your first try and rip your sink out. Don't do that. Anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to grab onto your sink with both hands. From this position, you're just going to lean back, let that head drop in between your shoulders here. Once you've got a good distraction of those shoulders, you can just let those knees bend a little bit. Now really get a good stretch to that low back right there. If you don't feel comfortable doing that stretch, I would recommend grabbing a chair, just something right behind you, just in case your hands slip, you have something to fall onto, so you're not just going straight to the ground. But just like all the other stretches, take it real slow, don't push it too hard. I did want to show a variation for that stretch since it's a pretty common stretch. Here's something that for a little bit more of an advanced group that you can do to get some of that glute muscles back here. Now, what you'll be doing for this is you'll be going into a figure four. So foot will be going right above your knee here. With this position, you're going to be facing that countertop with that leg still above your knee. Same thing, letting those arms go back as far as you can and letting that hips just sink back there. Good. It's a really nice stretch to just kind of get into that glute med and piriformis right here. It doesn't require you to get onto the ground or a yoga mat or anything like that. All right, now that I've gotten through some of the basic just stretches we can do in the kitchen, I wanted to go over some balance or stability work that we can also do here just real quick. Now, the first one I wanted to show you is just a little bit of a personal challenge that I like to give everyone. Now, we end up being in front of this countertop a lot. One thing that I really enjoy to challenge myself is to see how long I can do it on a single leg. And this is perfect because one, it really challenges our single leg stability on this side. Folk makes us have to learn how to balance. But we still have all that protection of the countertop just in case if we need just a little touch here. Now, to take this to the next level, just throw not a huge bend, but just a little bend in that knee. It's going to force our muscles to have to stabilize a little bit more. And it's just kind of a personal challenge to see how long you can hold this position. Whether you can get through a full sink of dishes or if you can do all of your meal prep. Highly recommend not doing this with a knife though. That's like that level 3 stuff only professionals do. All right. With that balancing one right there, I wanted to show you some things that you can just do for upper body core stabilization. Now, one of my favorite stretches or exercises we can do in kind of confined space is a lunge. Lunges are great. I have my own personal way of doing lunges, so I'll just kind of explain how I set myself up for that. I'm going to get into a nice long stance here. I want to make sure that my legs aren't too underneath me or just right there. From this position, I'm not going to be leaning forward. I'm going to be bending through both knees equally and lowering my body down. As you can see, I have a pretty good 90-degree angle in both my knees here. My body's staying nice and tall. And we're just going to hold that. Now, to increase this, to get a little bit more core work, we're going to get a rotation here. And you can obviously do this without any weight, or you can just add a little bit something to challenge yourself. So what I'm going to be using today is my coffee cup. So I'm going to get into that same lunging position. Nice long stance here. I'm going to get that 90-90 bend in both sides, making sure my body's tall. I'm going to extend my arms. And I'm going to rotate towards this forward leg right here. Now, that's going to help us kind of get that core activated, keep that body fully working, and we're bringing it back. This is not a speed stretch or exercise. This is a stability one. So we want to do more with like a slow, controlled, see how well we can hold that position. All right. Now, those were just a couple of my fun stretches and mobility things that you can do around your kitchen. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll get to them as soon as I can. But besides that, you all have a great rest of your day. Good luck with everything and stay safe.